There's nothing great about taking punishment, being able to talk, voicing your opinion, and then when you're in a position where you can't talk and you can barely walk, the world want to say that.
See, he don't see this fight going the distance. Neither does I.
He went 12 grueling rounds with him, so he knows exactly how dangerous Manny Pacquiao still is. Floyd Mayweather has issued a stern warning to Mario Barrios about stepping into the ring with Pac-Man, believing the young contender is making a serious mistake by accepting a fight against the seasoned, battle-tested legend. While the popular narrative favors Barrios due to his youth and hunger, Floyd holds a different and unpopular opinion. He believes Manny still has what it takes to defeat the WBC welterweight champion. Let's take a look at exactly what Floyd had to say as he urged Barrios to proceed with caution heading into this matchup. Boxing is often called a young man's sport, or at least that's what people say. Reflexes dull, legs slow down, and punches lose their sting. But what if an aging fighter can still move like he did 15 years ago? What if he can still match and even outclass the new generation? That's the exact situation Manny Pacquiao finds himself in today. At 46 years old, Pacquiao is well beyond the typical retirement age for most boxers. But here's the twist. He doesn't look it. He's still incredibly fast. His footwork remains razor sharp, and that trademark explosiveness hasn't faded in the slightest. While many analysts are quick to highlight that Mario Barrios has youth and momentum on his side, not everyone is counting Manny out. In fact, several boxing legends are voicing their support and figuratively putting their money on Pac-Man. One of those legends is Vasily Lomachenko, who recently claimed that age won't be a factor for Manny in this fight. According to Loma, Pacquiao still moves as well as he did a decade ago, and coming from someone like Lomachenko, widely. Regarded as one of the most technically gifted fighters of our era, that's high praise.
He's very, very fast. And he's still Manny Pacquiao looks like 10 years ago.
But the more surprising supporter, none other than Floyd "Money" Mayweather. Yes, that Floyd Mayweather, the same man who faced Pacquiao in 2015 in what was billed as the fight of the century. The same man who, by most accounts, outboxed and outpointed Manny over 12 rounds to secure a unanimous decision victory. Yet despite that win, Floyd isn't brushing off Pacquiao's chances in this upcoming bout against Barrios. In fact, he's issuing a direct warning to the younger fighter.
One of the most important things about my career was my defense.
Now, some people tend to dismiss Manny's legacy just because he lost to Floyd, but let's be honest, losing to Mayweather isn't exactly a disgrace. Floyd dominated an entire generation of fighters and is widely regarded as one of the smartest and most elusive boxers the sport has ever seen. If anyone knows just how dangerous Manny Pacquiao is, it's the man who shared the ring with him for 36 intense minutes. And what's Floyd saying now? He believes Barrios is making a mistake, a big mistake. According to Floyd, Barrios might be underestimating what it truly means to go toe-to-toe with someone like Pacquiao. It's not just about age or speed. It's about experience, ring IQ, and that relentless fighting spirit Manny brings every single time he steps through the ropes. In Floyd's words, Pacquiao still has it, and Barrios would be wise not to take that lightly.
Day in and day out, you go out there and you produce. And that's what it's really about. It's about producing a hell of a training team.
Think about it. Pacquiao isn't some retired legend stepping back into the ring for a quick payday. This isn't an exhibition. This isn't a novelty act. He's coming back to win. And if you followed his career even remotely, you know that Manny doesn't do things halfway. The man is a machine when it comes to discipline, training, and preparing for battle. Of course, that doesn't mean Barrios is some walkover. He's got youth, reach, and a burning desire to prove himself. His recent performances have been impressive, and there's no question he sees this fight as the biggest opportunity of his career, a chance to add a living legend to his resume. But that's exactly where the danger lies. Overconfidence against a fighter like Pacquiao can cost you everything.
Manny has so much experience. That man, he could get through anything. As long as they have the right plan, whatever they do, man, they have that.
Let's not forget what makes Manny Pacquiao so special. The angles, the footwork, the lightning-fast combinations that seem to come out of nowhere. These aren't things you can prepare for just by watching film. You have to experience them in the ring. And by the time you realize what's happening, you might already be staring up at the lights from the canvas.
When I was in the back, Leonard said, He don't see this fight going the distance. Neither does I.
Floyd's concern seems to come from a place of deep respect. He knows better than anyone how tricky Manny can be. Despite winning their bout, Mayweather had to be at his absolute peak to outpoint Pacquiao. That was no easy night, and Floyd understands that Barrios might be walking into a much tougher challenge than he expects. When you're Floyd Mayweather, one of the most dominant and undefeated fighters in boxing history, people are always curious. Who gave you your toughest fight? After all, Floyd's faced a who's who of elite competition: De La Hoya, Canelo, Mosley, Hatton, and more. But when he was asked which opponent truly pushed him to the brink, his answer wasn't just surprising, it was a massive compliment.
At any point, did a fighter ever make you feel like, oh?
Floyd said that when he reflects on the most difficult fights of his career, one stands out clearly. He remembers being in the third or fourth round and realizing that the battle ahead would be long, grueling, and unlike anything he had experienced before. That opponent, none other than Manny Pacquiao.
No, but I've been in a fight. I get like in the third or fourth round, like tonight gonna be a rough.
Yep, the Filipino boxer who etched his name into boxing history by winning titles across an unprecedented 8 weight divisions, starting at 108 pounds and climbing all the way to 154. Just think about that. From flyweight to light middleweight, beating top-tier opponents and knocking them out along the way, Floyd admitted that Pacquiao was relentless. "I had to keep my distance," he said, because Manny just wouldn't stop coming forward, every second of every round. Pacquiao was constantly pressing, launching punches from wild angles, and even with all his defensive brilliance, Floyd knew this wasn't someone you could afford to be careless against.
One of the best fighters I've faced was Manny Pacquiao. He's a future Hall of Famer.
What the is it about Manny, man? He just don't stop coming.
But you know me, I keep my distance because he's real short.
In another interview, Floyd expressed how stunned he was by Pacquiao's career. How could one man climb through so many weight divisions and still remain a threat in every single one? It wasn't just that Manny moved up in weight, it was the fact that he dominated as he rose, often dismantling his opponents with spectacular knockouts. That combination of power, speed, and durability across so many classes is something we may never witness again.
I just want to say this to the world. It's amazing how a fighter can come from, I think, 108 all the way to 154 and knock out all these guys. To me, it's amazing. I guess he's just blood.
But it wasn't just the resume that left Floyd impressed. It was the experience of actually sharing the ring with Pacquiao. Floyd went on to say that Manny Pacquiao was the best fighter he ever faced. Let that sink in. Coming from a man who retired undefeated, having fought and outclassed a long list of elite names, that's one of the highest compliments a boxer can give. According to Floyd, what made Manny so tough was his flashy movement, the awkward angles, the unpredictable footwork, and the punches that came from directions no one else could replicate. It was all part of what made Pacquiao truly one of a kind.
The best fighter I fought probably was Manny Pacquiao because of his movement.
But while facing him, Floyd had a realization. This is why Pacquiao had defeated so many elite fighters. It wasn't just his speed or aggression, it was the subtle, unique things Manny did in the ring that no one else could replicate. Movements that couldn't be mimicked, let alone defended.
A hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he...
And when Pacquiao eventually retired, Floyd didn't hesitate to give him his due. He called Manny one of the greatest fighters of all time, giving him true GOAT-level respect. For all the pre-fight trash talk and heated rivalry between them, when it was all said and done, Floyd showed nothing but admiration.
Manny Pacquiao, I think that he's one of the best. He's one of the best. We was able to come together we didn't come together when we wanted to, but we was able to come together and get a fan.
Now here's where things get really interesting, because Floyd knows exactly what it feels like to be in the ring with Pacquiao. He recently issued a serious warning to Mario Barrios, the young fighter set to face the legendary Pac-Man. And this wasn't just some offhand comment. Floyd sounded genuinely concerned. He said it outright, it's not worth it. Taking that kind of punishment from someone like Manny, just for the sake of chasing greatness, is a dangerous road. Pacquiao throws a massive volume of punches, and even if you block some of them, the damage still piles up. According to Floyd, that kind of sustained beating, especially from a fighter like Manny, can have long-term consequences. We're talking serious damage to the brain, the body, even your ability to walk and talk properly later in life.
Look at guys like Sugar Ray Robinson. You guys look at certain fighters like Muhammad Ali. There's nothing great about taking punishment, being able to talk, voicing your opinion, and then when you're in a position where you can't talk and you can barely walk, the world want to say that.
Mayweather has been in the sport long enough to understand both what it takes to succeed and what it costs. And as a former champion with decades of experience, his advice to Barrios was clear: be cautious. In fact, Floyd went so far as to say that if he were in Barrios' position, he wouldn't take the fight. Not against Manny, not at this point in Pacquiao's career. Because even now, Manny is still dangerous, still motivated, and still hungry to prove he's got something left in the tank.
If I got to be put in that position to be great, then that's not for me.
So, while the world debates whether Manny is too old, Floyd Mayweather is telling everyone who'll listen, don't sleep on the legend. Because once that bell rings, age won't matter. All that will matter is whether you're ready for a storm that never stops coming.
But what about you,
fight fans? Do you think Mario Barrios would underestimate the old legend and pay the price for that? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.